Today we will be showing a 68-year-old male named Frank who is diagnosed with a right CVA and has left neglect. He also has coronary artery disease and diabetes. He is right-hand dominant and is a postal worker, loves traveling, gardening, and woodworking. He has perception deficits with figure ground, right and left confusion, cognitive deficits including poor attention span, insight, judgment, and safety awareness. He has difficulty maneuvering around the room and constantly bumps into things on his left side. He has weakness in his left upper and lower extremities. His assistance level is max assist with ADL dressing and mod assist with IADLs.
We chose this intervention because Frank enjoys working with his hands. He is an avid woodworker and enjoys gardening. Incorporating the rush stool construction in his treatment session will encourage and motivate Frank to engage in his therapy.
The tools needed for rush stool construction are hammer, sandpaper, and an extra leg. The supplies needed is a dowel, glue, wood blocks, and a wet paper towel. You will need a flat surface with plenty of space, and the supplies should be in arm's reach and set out prior to client arriving. For Frank, we are going to set them up on his left side since he has left neglect. The social demand is appropriate conversation with therapist, and the reason we are outdoors is because Frank loves the outdoors.
I'm Aubrey. I'm going to be Frank's occupational therapy assistant for the day. This is his wife, Carla. She's going to be assisting in any ways needed. Since Frank has left neglect, we set up all of his tools and supplies on his left side. And we're going to start out by having Frank move the wood box to the center of the table, using your right hand to guide your left hand as needed. Okay, next we're going to have Frank sand the wooden dowels and the wooden legs. So we're going to take sandpaper, and I'm going to have you place it in your left hand, and take your right hand and grab the dowel and rub it on the sandpaper. So put it on your left side, so you have to look at it. Okay, good job. Okay, now I'm going to have Frank pick up the wood glue with his right hand and place it inside of his left hand, and use his right hand as needed to squeeze the glue into the holes.
I can't do it.
Okay, if Frank happened to be unsuccessful in gripping the wood glue, then I would have this paint palette right here, and I would squirt the glue into the palette and provide him with a paintbrush to use to dip up the glue and swirl it around in the holes. If he couldn't grip the paintbrush, then an adaptation for that would be to use the universal handcuff and stick the paintbrush inside and dip with it like this. Want to try that, Frank? With the paintbrush first. Okay, now we're going to use the universal handcuff. Okay, now. Good job. Okay, now Frank, I'm going to have you use your right hand again to aid your left hand in picking up the dowels and placing them into the wood holes. Good job. Okay, now we're going to have Frank assemble the other leg on top of these dowels with his wife's help as needed. Go ahead, Frank. You can do it. Okay, now we're gonna have you stand this up and using your left arm, we're gonna have you stabilize the wood block by just laying it down. Using your extra leg, we're gonna stick it on top and use your mallet to hammer it into place. There you go. Do it. An adaptation for this one would be if the hammer was too heavy for him, we could get a lighter one to make it easier to grip. And if his grip strength wasn't good enough, we can make one with a built-up handle as well. After completing that step and repeating it one more time, we finally came out with the finished product of a wooden rush stool.
This activity is culturally relevant for Frank because he is an older male from the South. Prior to his CVA, he enjoyed working with his hands and building things. Incorporating woodworking into his treatment will motivate him to push himself during therapy, therefore gaining max independence.
Some areas of occupation that be improved is your ADL for grooming and hygiene. This would be improved by using the paintbrush and increasing pinch and grip strength. This will help increase independence while shaving. Community mobility and driving will also be increased because the grip used for the mallet will increase independence needed for gripping the steering wheel. Gardening will also be improved because the grip used for the mallet will increase the grip strength needed to grip a shovel. Another area of ADL that would be improved is dressing. The grip needed to grip the paintbrush will increase the grip pinch needed to button. Sifting through the mail will also be increased because the fine motor job performance will increase pinching the paintbrush.
There are many performance skills that are necessary for this task, but here are some that we would like to further explain. He uses grips to grasp all the material, reaches for reaching across the table to grab supplies, manipulates for manipulating the tools and wooden pieces, he uses a mallet to hammer in the dowels, sequences, he must complete the steps in the correct order, and endures, he must endure the task until it is completed.
During this activity, we used many comment factors, but we have chosen some that we would like to elaborate on. The first one is praxis, which is used to carry out the movements to use his right hand to guide us left during the activity. The next one is proprioception, which is a skill used to know the strengths needed to hammer the dowels. Next is bilateral integration, which is needed because his right hand is used to stable his left, therefore he is using both hands. Gross motor skills is used when using mallet to hammer the dowels. Fine motor skills is used when picking up the dowels and the paintbrush. And then motivation is needed for Frank to complete this task.
She was dancing. Go. Oh, is it time?
Yeah.
Oh, start over.
Yeah,
It's a time.
Yeah.
Action.
Oh, okay.
I'm Aubrey. I'm going to do Thanks occupation. Thanks.
The tools needed for rush tool construction are, start over.
Okay, start over.
Now the wind's coming. Hey.